All right, all right.
Five, four, three, two, one. You're live with Neve.
Wow! Happy Friday, peoples. Here we are. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Check. Let me see what's going on. I do not hear my headphones. I hear the speaker in here. So we have some new tools of the trade in here that we're employing today. Check. Do I hear myself? Do you hear me out there, people? I do not hear Mandy, so I'm going to just say, screw that. Say hello now. Bring her on.
Hear me? Hey, what's
Hi.
up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Thank you.
I've got some funny things. In fact, I'm going to start off with a funny story today.
Excellent.
Have you had people like have friends and then you get a new friend request with the same picture and somebody you talk to regularly? Have you ever had that happen?
You mean like when someone hacks into an account and tries to steal it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's and I'm really good at calling people out on that. So
well, this is a good story. I wish I could.
Oh, nice.
Of it. So this friend of mine came up and he hadn't seen me since high school, and he's one day going through the beauty of the internet and let's see, we got somebody commenting already. Hey Jay, how are you, man? What's going on, buddy? Welcome to the Custer Dome. Any rate, what was I yapping about? I'm sorry, my old friend here just popped in. We're talking
you're
about
now you got me.
Shit.
You're losing my train of thought
this
now.
Friend of mine, I see on my page that his account.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming back. So I looked at it and I'm like, Dale Garrett, guy that I went to high school with, hung out with maybe 2 or 3 times in high school. His nickname was Guitar Zen. Played in the band.
That's awesome. I love it.
What's funny though is the first time I met him, I kind of thought he was a wicked dork because he was singing. I don't know if it was like "Ring My Bell" or one of these really bad disco songs. Ring my bell.
I love that song.
Remember that?
It's funny. I don't think we've ever like touched on the fact that I really love disco. Like I love it.
Okay.
I do. So I'm like, what bad disco song? What do you mean?
Yeah. Anyhow, what happened was somebody cloned his account and they wrote to me as if it was him.
That's crazy.
I wrote to him back. I said, Dale, how's it going in the afterlife? How's heaven, man? Are you like up there with all your pals wearing wings and walking around? Chick puts up a question mark.
Yeah.
So then I recorded a personal message for her because I thought it's always better to hear from the vocal or from the horse's ass mouth.
Yeah.
I said, I was just having some fun because I was like, what a moron.
Yeah.
I said, hello, this is Frank Rizzo. I said, listen, I know you ain't my friend. You ain't Dale. And I said, listen, you Mameluke, I'm going to come down there and jack your fucking jaw. I said, my friend's been dead for 3 fucking years, jackass. And I said, so get your shit together because I know where you live now. And I'm coming to see you soon. Now fuck off. I clicked off. At any rate, I feel bad because I haven't gotten a response yet. It really bummed me out.
Well, yeah. How do you respond to that? Like,
I'll find the track and play it for you because it
that's
was really
hilarious.
when at the time when I listened to it back, I was like, these people are gonna think they got some crazy lunatic on the phone. And
Well,
the fact that they're scum who would actually be whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna go out and like what are they gonna do with this shitty little account? The guy's dead for one thing. There's no money in his bank account. There's nothing to scam him on. The one
you
thing
know,
I remember about him is I didn't know him very well, but then when I re-met him, he had gone through a lot of life problems like people do. And he's my age, so he's in his 60s. The guy had been through alcohol abuse, this abuse, that abuse, and then he got into methamphetamine, which is just like took him and threw him down and walloped him. So when he called me, he'd gotten over that and written a book. He had started a group trying to help people who are addicted to methamphetamine, which is a noble cause. I mean, really, when you think about it. So what happened was he called me. I had asked him to be on the show to talk about the meth stuff, because he had a good story to tell. And he said, it's my birthday weekend. I'm heading up to North Carolina. And he had this rig he had a Mercedes and he had this killer trailer that had like 2 or 3 kayaks on it. He was all gung-ho kayak guy, And I remember saying to him, have a safe trip, enjoy your birthday weekend and all this. And then I guess it was the Saturday, the next day the next day was Friday. I talked to him on Thursday. Saturday, he got up there to North Carolina to some heavy ass, kayaking run, one of those places where you go down jumps, the kind of stuff that at my age, I really hate. I got to think about breaking bones. I've done all kinds of crazy shit. Broken lots of bones. I've got scars all over. I look like I've been attacked by a white shark. But, I don't want to do that again. Not anytime soon. And it's like, I'll go snow skiing again. I mean, because I'll be careful. I wouldn't be like I was when I was a little younger. Started back at it 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and I moved back up here. And it was just like getting on a bike. First time I went out, by the end of the day, I was up on the expert trail having a blast. Having a little fear for life, but all things that are fun like that have a little adrenaline rush to it.
That's what it's about.
If you're not used to skiing in the West, blah, 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 this run, you may have serious death or serious permanent injury. So please think before you get down this trail. And I thought about it. And it was my second run of the day. And I'd gone down a slightly lower graded trailer and I made it fine. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go down it. And I will tell you, the first mile or so was just so scary because there was just like a cliff wall that if you were not really paying attention, you could kind of launch down into the pine trees, 1,400 feet below you. So I was hugging the mountain, just doing my thing, but I made it down and I didn't, make any speed records, but I had a great time. I haven't gone now in like 5 years. That's like one of the only things I would do as an older guy that, makes any sense to me.
Well, it sounds like a fun time.
Motorcycles and, don't think I need to do that again. Bikes are fun. It's like I say, anything that's fun would make your mom cry. It's like if you wreck your motorcycle, you have.
It's kind of true.
So, you have all these gigs coming up. What is the next gig you've got?
Okay, tomorrow, Twisted Ginger at Ryan's Sports Pub in Monroe, New Jersey.
Beautiful Monroe.
Beautiful Monroe, New Jersey. Yep.
I'll be going over there next. The last 2 days of the month, I'm going to be in a mock trial. I'm going to be just a juror, and hopefully, I get to be the the foreman of the jury. I've done that before, and if you don't have a good foreman, it just turns into such a tedious hours of people who don't have any organization.
Well, yeah,
just like a real jury.
Yeah,
it opened my eyes to the fact that no matter what you think inside, when you get 12 people there, all thinking, they all have a different frame of mind. Yep. Unless it's just one of those juries. My friend Jay here, he's a public defender. He's handled murders and all kinds of things. I know him and I, we could probably have a show where we just talk about the cases he's seen and the crazy that goes on. But it is pretty nuts. I have to say that people who are out there, breaking laws and get caught up in the justice system, it's like a pig and it comes out of sausage, when it goes in, and then, I mean, not worth it to be a criminal, people. I was gonna, we just popped on, so I'm just looking here to see if we have any good news we can talk about. If not, we can get into some bad news a little bit, but we'll keep it to it. Let's see. My mentor and friend did not recognize me. What is this? Okay, this is just all presidential hoo-ha, who's going to come in and be the president or leave, or who's not. We'll worry about it when it happens. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
If Joe's at home doing the prognostication, whether he's going to go in, good for him. I'm really trying, people, to find some good news here. Millionaires are priced out of Miami now in Palm Beach by billionaires. So the country continues the stock market's going, people.
The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer.
The poor are getting really poor, and prices are insane.
There's the gap in socioeconomics right now. There really
is. It's going to be the decline of the middle class. You'll just have poor people who might be a little less poor than some others.
Yeah.
People at the top who are, their stock portfolio. They always say how great the stock market's doing. It's like, I don't have millions of dollars in stock, but in our investments, they're not doing well. And we have some good stuff. Some of it's doing well, but the majority of it, and this is a lot of blue plate shit that always comes back. So it's kind of stuff you want to hang on to. But we have jamming devices being planned for targeting Russia and Chinese satellites. That's great news. Get ready to pay more for less reliable electricity. That's more good news. And we have Paris struggling with terror prior to the Olympics. I'm not sure. Have you followed the Olympics at all?
Not really. It's like they come, I watch it, and then, I like it for what it is. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't been following much of anything in the outside world lately.
Sure.
I'm kind of... Yeah, it's like I'm kind of even taking like a detox moment from like, I don't know, any sort of like news or, and I'm not saying it to be ignorant. I'm saying it because I feel like I have so much that I need to do on my own, to better myself as a person. It's like lately, I don't know, it's like, I figure I have time like to focus and like heal things that I never got a chance to do, and just like set stuff straight.
Time for personal reflection and planning.
Yeah.
I never used to plan. My idea of a plan was a cocktail napkin, a handshake, and we got a deal here, and it's written out, and it's stuck for years. Had many like that. Of course, now in today's world, we have to go through all the obligatory legalities for so many things. And the way I look at it is when money comes in and it's a big bunch of money, that's when you sit down. In fact, it's like having our show. If all of a sudden somebody sit down to buy the show and pay us lots of money to be on it and do it and get us a staff.
Well, I'd ask them if they were on drugs and needed help. That's the first thing.
Some writers and stuff, and they'll get Neil on some Ritalin. I think things will be okay.
I say,
but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
That's really true. That's really true.
They were, not like they are now. But at the end of the day, I forget who wrote it, but I think it was Jung, and he said something to the effect that just by going out and doing it, if you do your best, you put your effort into it, even if you feel like sometimes, which we all do, you're in a band, if I see we had a bad week or month, I go harder to work to make it better the next month. I've taken times where I've just stopped and done booking crazy and gotten like 30 acts on because I realized I got to have this pushed out into the future just to make it easier to deal with.
When you're booking shows, you can't be content with what you have. You can never.
You have to always be, and as soon as you get one, that's the best time to go get another one.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I've made some changes in some of the things. I've made up like actual, when I send somebody a letter, instead of hand typing it all, I can customize my letter, but it's basic hardcore shit. Like, here's what time, here's what we expect. If you're going to play, wear headphones, all the stuff. And I also get them to sign off that we can use their music because we're advertising them. Like today I have some music to play. It's 4:18, so we're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back. Let's see. We're going to just go into the brand category here. And I got to figure out how to get rid of that picture of me behind this. Yeah. Let's see. Where is that thing? Let's see. Background. We'll go into a different room. There you go. Now that's cool. That's a really odd
it's like, it looks like we're in like a...
It's another stage. Here, I'll take us out and you'll see.
Wedding receptions.
That was weird. Okay, well, we have a selection of choices. So we'll go with the pond on Central Park. All right, folks. Buy some stuff. Buy a cowboy hat. Buy Carlton Wilkinson's CD, please. He has to pay me, and I need millions. So please get him.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade.
Here we go. The longest ad means now That's right. Carlton Wilkinson and Carlton Wilkinson. That's right. All right. And we have one more, but I'm going to just see where it went to. One more ad for you guys, because the wonderful and great Nancy Kravis will be shooting us at some point with all the other shit. Might have to have her come to one of Mandy's gigs or something and do a quick shoot for the new. There's going to be a new whole bunch of new things happening, including live. A little random noise or a drum kit I can go through.
Is that what you have next to you? You have a...
Can you hear it out there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it sounds like drum pads.
New drum pad to make a little racket. I've been practicing, and one of the things I realized when I went out with it, it's got a menu about this deep. You have to really get into the layers. I can do some amazing things. I can start a rhythm and loop it, and then play along with it. Have quite a nice little groove going, which the band can kick in over.
Nice.
And you can play like you've got big percussion ensemble, and I can literally, once I get it programmed, just have it. And when it starts, it'll give 4 clicks. Everybody's got it in their earbuds or their headphones. And then all I do is play off of it. Like I have all kinds of drums and percussion. So you can have this like Santana style wall of voodoo going on. And I'm just getting used to the touch. I'm touching the surface of it. I would not have gone out on the road with it if I realized how steep the learning curve was, and I wasn't really comfortable with the
I know what you're saying.
I didn't have anything prepared for drum monitors, so I had a hell of a time hearing myself the whole time, and it was just like very mushy. They had a great PA. They had one of those what is it called? The Bose with the big subwoofer and the tower line array, the highest price one they have, and it's got 2,000-3,000 watts in the sub. It's a great sounding little system, you know. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest it for like what you guys do. I mean, although if you had 2 of them and 4 subs instead of the 2 it usually comes with, you could do any club and sound great. But the problem was they say that you can use them as monitors, and I had one right in front of me. And it was so hard to play and hear what they were doing and what I was doing. And because it's my first day with this thing, when I played on it, it was moving around on the stage. Like I had to put my foot on it. And
that's annoying.
I didn't realize how physical I would have to be.
Yeah.
I hadn't. there's so much I know now about it that I can do better things. Like this is very delicate. Oh, that's not. Like if you listen to this, I'll turn it up a little bit.
Nice.
I love that thing. I'm just learning about how to, really get something out of it that's good is great fun. It's like learning a whole new instrument.
Yeah.
I can hook up a kick pedal to it and a hi-hat cymbal so that I can program it. So I can literally play a drum kit with my hands, and then like we can MIDI it into something. And we can part around, move it, fix it, do whatever we want to make it sound really great and perfect. And I'm just excited to be back into the trying to make some original music again. It feels good.
Yeah, it's funny. We started talking about that too because, like I was saying, like from the beginning, like from I haven't written anything new. It's like I still like have a whole bunch of old things that it's like I want to do first. It's like every now and then I get songs, like things that pop in my head. But it's like now with Twisted Ginger, it's like we're starting to get like our sound. Like it's like there's, because since like we're just a 4-piece. Yeah. And since we're a 4-piece, it's like we all kind of do a little bit more than like we normally would, like to fill in spaces or to thicken up the sound in certain spaces.
Over time, the best thing is after you've been playing, like, because you know what, even playing the same songs for a year, you get bored, and to change it up and add a bridge here, or let somebody really rip off. Like sometimes I've heard guitar players with the part coming up, but then we got to go back to the verse.
No, that's what we do all the time. Like we like to stick like guitar solos and sax solos where they're not usually there,
Right.
just like have fun with it. And yeah,
like the way you play sax is my friend Kevin, and he's down south. He's Bo Diddley's sax player for a while. Great guy. I told him he was a country player, played all this yakety sax shit. And I told him, no, you don't get it. I said, here's what I want you to do. When I'm singing and I get done, I want you to do what a lead guitar would do at this part.
Yes.
I want you to play a melody. I want you to follow the melody of the melody of the song where the voice, I want you to sing like I would sing it if I was singing the lyrics there. But he would do it perfectly. And he was such a charismatic guy. He has very pale skin. He had this huge, crazy afro thing going on. He's got curly hair. He's blind, and he wore these big Coke bottle glasses that were this thick. And so if he'd come up and he'd go, "You got eyes like a mullet, son." His eyes were like this big. And I have so many stories I could tell about the guy. Some of them aren't fit for the show because I know we've hit some bottom points, people. Occasionally we share a little too much, but at the same time, Kevin was one of a kind guy, and he was a brilliant guy. He was a chemical engineer, amongst other things. He's had a business that he's really successful with. It was great because for about 30 years, I've been trying to track him down on Facebook, on all these other things. I always wondered. We used to call him the Wookiee, like Chewbacca, his big hair. At any rate, he was just a lot of fun back in the day, but before he sort of straightened out, he's one of the most wild and crazy people. The fact that him and I never got arrested doing anything when we were just like,
I have friends like that
too. We were going to a gig one night, and we had these two girls in the front seat, and unexpectedly, my wife decided to come. So as we're riding up the interstate to Orlando from Tampa, I don't know what's going on. We're all smoking weed in the car, and we're just drinking beer. It's like we're totally, illegal, and we're just having fun. And this was about 1981, 82. And the two chicks in the front were very wild women. And we had them ensconced in this band house down in Gibsonton, which is where all the carnivals are. That was the only place we could get a house that would rent to a bunch of rock and roll people to have a rehearsal house. and it just turned into Animal House because like I was 19 or
Yay!
something. It was
Nice.
like it would be the kind of place where I'd pull up and it was like Animal House. All of a sudden getting attacked by bottle rockets whizzing by my head in the car.
That sounds hilarious.
It was great. It was the time of my life. And
Yes.
next door we had elephants and tigers and lions, oh my, and it was just insane. Like we'd be playing and you'd hear like an elephant or a lion. You'd hear
Nice.
roars of the lions, and when big cats get in heat, let me tell you, you think a cat going all day trying to get some action going. It's unbelievable. And the other thing I learned in those days, being around circus folk, as they call them, showman is the correct term for a carnival worker or a circus worker. They don't like being called carnies, dirt balls, hairballs, things like that don't go over well.
Well, who likes to be called a dirt ball or a hairball, really?
Whether it's true or not, I don't want to be called that if I was.
Yeah. I don't think that's just carnies.
You just call me asshole if you want to really be that forward. Let's just not.
Poopy pants.
Get away with the foreplay. If you're going to call me something, pick up something better than that. I'll be called far worse than that. Work on it. Let's get out of here. I don't know. So that was the time period. What I was getting back to, these two girls in the front seat had been making the rounds of the bands. They had dated various members for various lengths of time. In some cases, it might have been an hour. In some cases, it might have been 2 weeks. Next week, I come to find she's with the guitar player. You just have no idea what's going on. They weren't in the band, so they were just kind of free range.
Free range skanks.
Yeah, skanks. They were skanks before skanks even knew what skanks were. They were carny chicks. They had tramp stamps before tramp stamps were cool. And they'd have like jail tattoos and shit. These are some tough women and men, let me tell you. And I will say this. When I dealt with those folks, they were carnies who rented us our house. And Kevin got it because he knew everybody down there. But we paid our rent on time like a clock. They never gave us a hard time. We'd rehearse till midnight, 1 a.m. They'd never call the fucking cops. They were great neighbors. And those people had to have a place to take their circus off the road in the winter time. And it was quite a learning experience. We also played at one of the shows where they had the freaks. The actual sideshow, who, when they were still alive, the ones from the 70s, there was the giant, who was this huge giant. He's married to the fat lady. And then there was a guy called the Lobster Boy, who ended up killing a few people in his family. But like, I remember when Kevin and we went back, this was before all that Lobster Boy murder shit went on. And he would sit in the bar, and this guy had no legs, or short, messed up legs, but he could run on his hands and his short, stumpy legs.
Yeah, I've seen him before. Yeah.
And that guy could beat the shit out of people. He was wicked strong, and the basic why he got shot, he was a wicked alcoholic, and he abused everybody in his family. He raped his daughters. He did all kinds of foul shit. And in the end, I think it was his son or his daughter's boyfriend. They said that even though he would tell the cops, look at me, I'm all crippled. I can't do what they said I'm doing. And he got away with a lot of very abusive persons, should have been put in jail a long time before he got killed. In fact, knowing how many times, but you got to remember down there, these carnival people, they're very tight. They're clannish. If you're not from there, they don't want to know you. They know everybody they know.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't been for my friend Kevin, the crazy lunatic, but getting back to the end of the story, Darla's sitting next to me. I don't recall if we were married yet, but it was around the time, because I proposed to her at this gig that we were at one night after a gig. On the way, though, these two girls start kissing on each other and stuff and getting kind of like kinky going on in the front seat. And I'm not really paying attention to it, but then Kevin goes, God damn it, I fucking told you, stop that shit in the car. And I'm in the back trying to I'm like this. Girlfriend sitting there, my future wife sitting there, and I'm just like, and she pokes me and is like, what's going on?
Oh my God.
And I looked at her and I'm like, I don't know. And a few minutes later, he did it again. And she looks at me again. She's like, this is weird. She's whispering. And we got to the club. By the end of the night, she had it figured out that these were some crazy friends of Kevin's, and
Yeah.
you know, I had to plead the fifth on the whole. Having seen them around before, it was like, I don't know where Kevin finds these people, you know. Throw him under the bus. But
yeah, exactly.
He saw so bad. He went to the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, and we'd be driving, and I drove with him alone a lot of the time, or me and Ralph, my sound guy. We rode together. We had a big Lincoln Continental or some shit. And we'd be pimping on our way up to the gig, air conditioner at like 40 degrees. It's Florida, man. It's hotter than sin, even the good kind. And I'll tell you, man, we riding, and Kevin would like, there one time some hay bales fell off a hay bale truck, and we're driving, and I go to the right, go to the left. I'm like seeing him, spotting him, and he's going like, we're doing 70 miles an hour. He's going, rrr, rrr. Finally he hits one, and gets stuck under the car. This thing's like starting to catch fire because we're riding at like 80 miles an hour. And finally it blew out from under the car, but it was like, you have to hear the sound in this car. And we're like 40 miles from our gig, thinking we're going to break down and be screwed. Of course, none of us had AAA in those days. It would have been one of those disasters. You're calling every friend with a pickup truck. Come on, I'm on the road, broken down, and all this stuff. But, you know, me being a musician has always been an adventure. And it's those little moments. At the time, I was not a happy clam. All right. Perfect. Is that for the here?
Gift from Annie.
All right. Very nice. Thank you. Is that for me?
Well, it's for us. He says love.
A picture of our new kitty. The
That's
man
very
named
nice.
Spike, because his hair, he has weird hair on his back. And he's got some kind of weird genetic like wolf coat.
That's so cute.
It like it stands up, and he was trying to get all puffed up to scare the other cat. It's hilarious because he does that cat thing, jumps sideways, and he's all puffed up.
Yeah.
And from the back, he's got from like his mid shoulder down, he's got this like patch of like coarse hair. I don't know. Maybe he's got some wombat or something in him. But
that's funny.
He's a fine animal. Lots of fun. Lowers the mood. Makes life feel. It's nice to have a cat. It's like having kids around. They're doing things that make them happy, and they're not thinking about any of the shit we're worried about. It's just nice to watch that and make them comfortable. That's all I can say about pet ownership. Really a good thing. So I have some music some of our friends queued up because why? Just because I knew we didn't have a guest today, and we do have certain of our friends who we like, some more than others. No, we didn't say that. We love you all.
Neil does not speak for me.
I know.
General public.
I never speak for Mandy. She is her own woman, and she's got plenty of opinions. You don't have to wait. She'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a great thing. So let's see what we have in the share screen. Levi was our guest last weekend, and
what
a great guest
awesome.
He was, people. And I like the guy. So for no other reason than he hasn't bought an ad, which I mean, what can I tell you, man? My kids will be starving in the street before long now. We're just going to run an ad for him anyway because I like the guy. I want him to win the contest. So if any of you people are out there, go to Levi Kobe's page, Levi Kobe topic on YouTube, and I'll try and find his link after we're playing the tune, and you guys can enjoy this. This is some good stuff. So take a break, smoke them if you got them, and enjoy some Levi Kobe. And I'll tell you a little bit about the story. He's an Irish bloke. We love him.
No, Scottish.
Scottish. I better get it right. Yeah.
At least you didn't say English.
My dumb American ass.
Girl, I can see you out the mirror.
There he is, peeps.
Put your makeup on in your robe, laughing with the girls, walking down those stairs, fixing your veil, hiding the sky of tears in your mama's purse. I can't believe my life, now we're in it. Waiting in this suit to beginning as you walk down the aisle in that pretty white gown. Me standing tall, the whole room in awe, oh, heaven looking down. In your eyes shine like diamonds, and your smile like the sun, and the whole world can see the way you're looking back at me, 'cause I'm the lucky one. I spend my tomorrows giving back to you the love you've given me. For I'm the one by your side, and that's something, oh, I can't believe. Oh, I can't believe. Girl, you must be an angel, 'cause you just make me smile. I see a little piece of heaven when I look in your eyes as you walk down the aisle in that pretty white gown. Me standing tall, the whole room in awe, heaven looking down. In your eyes shine like diamonds, and your smile like the sun, and the whole world can see the way you're looking back at me, 'cause I'm the lucky one. The whole world can see the way you're looking back at me, 'cause I'm the lucky one. Girl, I'm the lucky one.
Man, that is just such a nice song.
Yeah.
That is a great song. And his story of being like a whole family, that they're troubadours throughout the ages. You know, he's got a whole family of people that he grew up with.
Yeah.
He's got an incredibly good voice. It's amazing. He said he's a Scotsman, right?
Yep.
And
yep.
He sounds as good as any other country singer out there that I've heard. I think he's got a great song. The hooks are great. It's recorded good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what's not to like? An Irishman with a good sense of humor and some great songwriting.
Yeah, and he was saying that he hasn't been doing it forever. Like, you know, he wasn't like, you know, one of those like kids who grew up like wanting to do that. He just like really he was going through some tough times, listening to some country music, and he got the bug. Thought he'd try writing some songs, you know? That's pretty awesome.
Stories like that where people just later in life and they get the bug and they makes me feel like, and maybe you feel that way, maybe you don't. Sometimes I'm like, God, I've been doing this my whole life, and obviously I'm not doing it for just the money anymore at all.
Yeah.
I feel it's more about the spirit of being out and playing and doing something fun that's vital. And it's really for that feeling you get when you're performing with a great band and that camaraderie, it's a drug in itself. I mean,
Yeah, like once you've
You have the right
experienced
people.
that, I think, it's hard to not want that in your life again, you know.
It is, and I know that, I was joking. And I said, I'll be 80 years old, and I'll be probably down on the beach with a looper
Yeah.
and singing,
Nice.
rock and roll tunes or whatever I'm into at the time.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 100, I'll probably have 3,000 songs memorized. You know what I mean? Because they keep coming
Yeah.
on. And I don't know about you, but don't you find that when you like stuff you played in past bands, sometimes it's like I occasionally will do it with my band. I played Stump the Band. And if we
Uh-huh.
couldn't play it, you had to buy us around. And
Oh, that's funny. Nice.
we could play the bridge, the chorus, and the guitar solo. You owe us a drink. If we
Yeah.
couldn't do that, um, we'd get at least one verse. Usually we'd get, my point being, usually we'd pull it off pretty close. Might have to sing the third verse, the second one over perhaps, because you haven't done it in 20 years. But I found it's amazing sometimes when they call it up and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't had it. I hate looking at it. I'm not going to sit and look at a phone.
Yeah.
I'd rather depend on my own inner safety to get it right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but sometimes like you're in that spot and it's right there when you get to you hear it coming and it pops into your head.
Yeah.
You get
There's
it down and I don't know.
There's a certain way I like to learn music, so that way it's like the way I always described it was short-term memory versus the long-term memory.
Right.
And it's like if I take the time to learn a piece of music, and the lyrics, and this is something I always said to my students, and this is a very, very important thing, is that practicing playing something the correct way first,
Right.
no matter how slow, and deliberate is the most important thing. Too many musicians, they they like look at an instrument and they go, and I used to tell this to like because I had a lot of beginners, and like I told them, I was like, you shouldn't be playing something and then going back to fix the problems necessarily. You will do that, but what about this? What about if we get like our mind, our fingers, and our ears like in tune with what's in front of you and play it the correct way and then gradually speed it up? I would do the same thing with like there's the hard passages, especially as a classical woodwind player,
like that. If you have to I know just as a drummer, the usual stuff you just sit down and pound out. That's one thing. I could do that with any song in the world. But if you have a part that you really need to learn, like if you're saying some of that prog stuff that Bill does. It took me as a kid. If I could probably fill in with those guys and do a pretty good job because I loved growing up, like Bill Bruford and all the drummers, and I love playing technical rock and roll. It's great fun, and I don't get to do it very often. When I do, it's like, oh, it's so much fun playing these difficult arrangements. But it took me all those years as a kid. I could probably play any song on any Yes album that was ever out. And I know that sounds like I'm bragging. People, I'm not. I was a kid in the basement. I didn't have tons of friends yet. When I'd move, it'd take a while. And so I'd sit in the basement with that record. I'd write out all the lyrics. Then I'd play along with it with a little shitty radio, but I had my headphones on. And now if somebody calls it, so what started this, people call something out and I'll go, I remember, I can do it. I got the chorus. I remember most of it.
Yeah, exactly. And like when you learn it the right way, it is in your forever memory. And it's like, it gets in your muscle memory. And you just like, and I was like saying that, I was like to learn like a song in like your forever memory, it's like you just let it flow. It's like, but part of it is not flubbing it.
Your muscle memory, you just hit it because like I can think like the intro to I'll be around about. Yeah. That little riff is not that hard, but it's so integral to the time signature change. He stutters through it. It's a very cool riff, which I always like how Bill Bruford had that. He's like the Christopher Walken of drummers.
It's funny, but you're right. His cadence is just a little quirky.
He shimmies with the tone, and then he does like rhythmic things. Like, I'll talk to you. I got, it was a crisis. It was bad. No, I did. I failed it. He's so hard to do. I work
He's
on
hard
it.
to do. Only he could do him.
That comedian. Did you go to that gig where they had the comedian at the studio where we went to see our country
No.
friends? This guy was the best walk-in imitator.
Yeah. Nice.
Next time I see him when we're talking, I want to get him to come on. I want him to do some bits like our opening.
Yeah.
The new opening song. I want to have him do something like, "Hey, this is Christopher Walken. You got to listen to the Live with Neve show." As he would do in his twisted syntax, that's the timing that is so hard. And I've heard really good impressionists. Our buddy from that gig, I can't. His name's eluding me at the moment. It'll come back to me once we get off the air. But he did a bit for a half hour of him, and he never broke character, and he was funny as hell because he was saying some things that came out of Christopher Walken's mouth. He'd be dying with laughter. I mean, he's a funny guy, no matter what you do. He's just a real character, and I like that about him. He's a unique. That's what I think about everything about entertainment. The uniqueness people have is what propels them to be a big star. If they really do something different, that's the people we see and hear about making a payroll.
Well,
It's
yeah, and
go with the flow and like want to do another dance song and sound like Britney Spears or any of the numbers of acts out there. If you're trying to be original and go out and get to that level of music, you got to really. It's a hell of a commitment, and a lot of people don't know what they're in for. First you got to write 14 to 18 good songs, and I'd even suggest you get 24 and pick half, so you have a whole nother record ready.
That's
it
right.
might need to be, maybe the writing arrangements need to be fixed, but you have it so that when whatever you have is ready to sell out, you have something sitting there ready to go again. And it's during that interim period you can get working on the next project, because you know how it is. It takes a long time to go through and practice and rehearse, and then writing your own material. You got everybody in the band who's going to hear things that they want to add or detract.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to try something, let's try it. We all know.
Yeah.
Like if somebody says, "I really want to sing this part," I'm sure you've run into that where you kind of know it's a borderline part for them, maybe because it's a little high, or just not in their range. But I always give somebody a shot and say, if you can.
Yeah, I'm like that too. If someone wants to give it a shot, go for it. Yeah,
because I don't like pissing on people's dreams. They might not be good enough now, but in a band, if they got the right attitude, frequently they'll pull it off because they want it. I mean, I've had band guys in my life. I should have let them grow a little more in the band. And at the time, I thought I was doing it right, protecting the integrity of how good the band was. But a few years later, I realized, looking back at it, I could have been a little lighter on the leash with them. I mean, my intentions were good, but I didn't know what I knew a few years later about how to manage the band and keep people more happy than disgruntled, I like, it's like most important is just the people. How do you get along with them? Because and especially the worst thing is when you've never traveled with anybody and then you have to take like all of you in the same truck or a bus or something. It can, like, you'll find somebody like
that's when you really learn about someone,
right? Because when things go wrong, it's like if you have a breakdown, your bus tire goes
and it's gonna happen.
And when it does, you got like 6 guys on the bus, and I'm gonna be like, "All right, guys, you grab the jack. I'm getting the lugs. I'm gonna start loosening. We get fucking moving," because that's part of the whole deal. The show must go on. And to me, it's a fun thing. And I love that. Even when stuff goes wrong, like having my friend's grand piano fall in the back of the van, to tell you the truth, is the best thing that ever happened to us. You know why? We never had to carry that fucker again and load it in, have it tuned before the show.
No one ever asked you to move a piano again. That was the last time.
But back then, everything weighed a ton. We had a Yamaha CS80, which he replaced it with this big Yamaha electric Grand. It was a great thing. It had weighted keys.
Those are good.
In rock and roll, that was the keyboard throughout the whole 70s.
Yeah.
That, a B3, a Moog. You might have a chord or an ARP in there. But, it's so now everything's like programmed and so easy. Back then, you'd have to change all your pitch patches with knowing how the oscillator went and how it was modified, and then how it was modified by a filter. And synthesizers were a pain in the ass, But
Yeah.
I look back at it now, and it's a lot of fun over the years. I've never been bored about music and how the technology changes and how we have to learn like new styles. Because, like, you think about when the Macarena came out. I hate that song, but if you're at a wedding playing a wedding, people want to hear the song. So,
Yeah.
I mean, $100, $200, $300 in tips because you played the fucking Macarena. That's worth something. And you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. How's your band? Do you guys do a request thing ever just to feel challenged?
Yes. Yeah. Like, you we already know a lot of songs. We really do.
Sure.
And it's like, and it depends, but like we're usually game for anything,
That's good.
And then
I like to throw stuff in that you haven't done in a while because the band.
Yeah.
I play the same set list every night for a month. I go out of my mind. I'll be writing them out. I'll like redo them and say, "Is everybody cool with this?"
Yeah. We do different
go,
things.
No, man, it's only in the first song. I can't open up. My throat won't be any good. And I'm like, okay, that makes. At least you told me.
Like there's certain songs. Like for me, for instance, right, this is not something we usually do, but the other day we had practice, right? We had rehearsal, and we did a Blondie tune, followed by a Metallica tune. But either way, we did them right next to each other, right? And like as we were practicing, and like normally, like in a set, that would not happen, right? Because like for me, I'm going from one vocal extreme to the other. Like you can't get like that far away.
Going to Blondie to having to sing Metallica.
So it's like so something like that. When we do the set list, like there's always like certain things like just don't do that to me. It's just
there's been times where they've stacked up like 3 tunes at the beginning that are usually like encore songs that I've already been singing for an hour and I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to put this at the front. I'd be like, who wrote this set list? Come on, man. I'm going to die of oxygen starvation if I have to do these 3 songs at the same time because it's just a question of statistical density, depending on the song and how the rhythm is. If it's a time signature change and I'm singing, I'm busy, and occasionally, and I don't mean like every night or anything, but occasionally you drop a ball when you're juggling, and the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you're just beat ass tired from work, and you're like up there, and you're going Then you get that. Once you get that, you get the feeling going. To me, it only takes a song or 2. In fact, I'm so rambunctious in the first song that I'm like. I come out smacking, we're here to kick your ass. I don't want anybody sitting in the audience looking at their phone when we come on. I want to blow their phone right off the table. No. And that's the hardest thing. That's always been my thought of how the audience is, how many people are looking at their phone instead of us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I always say that like to the guys in the band too, is because, like every band, you have a couple gigs where it's light, you have a light night with the attendance, but it's like when you know that the people are into it, it's like
you don't play any different. You kick it up.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, and it's like as you grow, and this is something that I think a lot of especially younger musicians don't get, is that like if you're in a room and it sucks, it doesn't matter. Because there could be one person there listening to you. And that one person there, that's right, calls you up.
A cousin who might send you to a club or
that's right.
A bar that they go to, and they'll say, I got a great band.
Exactly.
Together long enough that compared to last year when you were first getting rolling, when I look at your live gig videos, they're tight, man. You're cruising through these tunes. It's what you need to do. And it's obvious that you've been together for a while now because you have that. Everybody knows what everybody's thinking. And that's such a great, I like it. There's times when we're doing the show and we have a guest and we're really having fun. And we have a great symmetry going between us and the guest because it just gets more funny. It feeds on itself. And and having a great guest is everything. And I think since you've been on, I don't think we've had a real dud guest who like just
No,
when
everyone's
I first started doing it, I had a couple of guests that I didn't know at the time yet how to handle a dud guest who's just not talking. it was like the first time it happened, I was stymied by it.
You're like, oh crap,
So
help me.
then I started going, well, you talk a lot, don't you? You called, Slim? Is that what they call you? Slim Quiet? What's your deal? How's your record going? Good. I'm like, you're a man of many words. Can you try to give me a response with 8 letters, a noun, an adjective, a couple of pronouns? What are your pronouns, by the way? Turned it into a bit because it was like going nowhere.
Yeah.
Finally, I got him to open up, though. I just started poking fun at him, and I don't want to use his name because he's got problems in life. He's a very talented guy. He's got real problems, and I'm not a guy who sits around and is praying, but I always, when I do say him, I just think about him in my head because I hate seeing people who fall down on the substance abuse shit, and they're just so screwed up, and they have endless amounts of talent, and it's just going downhill. And I've watched this guy. I've always thought he was incredibly talented. Gave him a lot of time, and a lot of our friends in LA and Miami, my friends and our friends of the show, a lot of them did a lot to help him financially. They gave him far more money than our show brings in, and everybody's trying to help him because he's really a brilliant musician. But you can't make anybody change who doesn't want to. And I hope tonight he has a gig. I hope his beer is cold. I hope he eventually decides that things he wants to do, he'll just learn to deal with people and realize just because you're a good, talented musician, it's not your band. You're there to be a tradesman, and it's a guild. It's a craft. I don't know about you, but when I go out, it's shit, like you say, 5 people, and I'm only making $25 for 3 sets. I'm going to play as good as I do. If I was sitting on top of the Madison Square Garden playing with Tom Petty, I'd be like, I'd get that same feeling in my head to be happy and play it good. Because for me, playing just most relaxing. Although if we're playing Metallica and like really grudging along, it's not relaxing, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah, no, but yeah, you said, and that, and right, and in that respect, it's whatever you're doing, you have to do with your full intent. Yeah, like you know,
country song and it's a train track.
Yeah,
just play that.
The best train track you
can. Any fills.
Yeah. You know,
of course, but you just keep that train track going. I know this, folks, and we're gonna close out. We're just talking shop here, so if you're watching later, our show today, we really didn't have a topic. We talked a little bit about politics this morning, but I've seen enough of that crap. I just want to talk music and friendship, and I think the bands I have the best friends I've met either through the music biz, through the show, or just playing out. My best friends all over the world, all of you guys. We love you down in Australia and Finland and Germany and wherever you pop in. Potential spam.
It's a bat phone.
Let's see before we go. It's potential spam. Yes. How may I help you? Hello. I guess they didn't want to be helped. I put on my best ass-kissing voice for them, but
yeah.
Oh well. It's Friday. I'm done. Everybody, have a super weekend.
Happy Friday!
And have fun and just enjoy it. And all this stuff, people, try on the weekend to spend one day not saying one fucked up thing about anybody. Not the people you gripe about. Don't gripe. Don't listen to the news.
Do it.
It'll still be there on Monday. Go back and look at Live with Neve reruns, and you can see our progression. And there are some funny ones, but sit at home. And if you're doing that, if you have any ideas for guests, let us know. Call me, call Mandy, call Levi. He knows how to get a hold of us. All the big shots know how to find us. So
that's right.
You're out there. If you want to come on the show, and you don't have to be necessarily a musician, if you're a comic, if you're a writer, if you're a painter, if you do something creative and you really kick ass, man, we'd love to have you on. This is a fun place to be. And for any of you consumers of art, buy music now from local bands, authors, and artists. The big guys don't need your money, and you may be putting food on people's table who are really close to the abyss. And take care of the artists, because we're here. We're like cheap therapists. Next week, You can we'll help you with your problems. You tell it all. If you're a girl and you got troubles, you can talk to Mandy and ask her for some advice. And if you're a guy and you need some advice, whatever it is, I'll do my best.
It is.
And we'll try to put you on a serious path to fun. Because fun is missing in all of our lives at times and should always be fun. Not that it can always be fun, but you should strive for it.
We know what you're saying.
People in the world who got that. You know, they sit around and look at the band. I don't rock and roll. Well, fuck you. On that note, we're out of here, people. Thanks, Mandy, for joining us on this Saturnalia of madness.
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
See you soon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging